Hello and welcome to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gary Morgan. With me as always, Jim Stamm. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm going to go philosophical here, Gary, since this is the day that the free agency period in baseball begins.
Yeah.
If a free agency period comes and goes and you don't sign anybody in it, did it ever really happen anyway?
Yeah.
It's the tree in the forest. We're going to find out, dude.
I want to tell you something that just as we embark on the off season here, there's something that I think a lot of us that tried to be more level headed did an awful lot of last year that I don't want to do any of this year. You know how when fans start freaking out in, I don't know, Christmas Eve that the Pirates haven't done anything yet and people like us go, it's early, come on. Calm down. There's plenty of time left. I don't think I'm going to do that this year at all. I don't. I don't think I'm going to do that at all. Because
You're
to
just going to
me, you're right
let
to be on
people,
full-blown panic from moment one.
yeah, let people be in their feels for once.
Yep. I may not join them, but I'm certainly not going to be telling them not to.
Yeah,
I'm certainly not going to be going, tisk tisk. There's lots of time left in the off season. Nope. Not going to do that this year.
you
Not at
know
all.
what? I appreciate your early New Year's resolution, but I'm good with that. I think maybe we don't slap any wrists. We'll let people be angry.
I mean, it's a little bit less of a heel turn than Cody Duncan's gone through. But remember he was like this excitable little puppy
Oh,
that everyone would just slap in the nose with newspaper every once in a while. Come on, stop predicting World Series because of Leo Piguero and his all-star bat when he's in single A. Whack, whack, whack. Well, now he's the one sitting there delivering those whacks and talking about how crappy the team is.
yeah.
It's so great
He
watching somebody completely flip around.
Well, he's the before and after 8 years as a president, right? How you end up looking at the end of it. So that's
Yeah.
that's where Cody's at right now, and yeah, you don't see any more of the proclamations of lethal lineups with Yoshi Tsutsugo in it anymore. So
No.
he came around.
Right. I mean, it's the thing is, people want to make things about being negative or positive or whatever. I guess I just do not look at things like that. I never have. I just look at them kind of like as what happened. And then I decide sometimes over days whether I think it's negative or positive. I don't have to make some kind of immediate decision on some of this stuff. You sign a relief pitcher in December or January, and I've never heard of them, and I'm not going to run and look at their stats and sit there and forecast out exactly what they're going to contribute. That sort of stuff
Well,
I think's got to stop. We got to stop pretending this is a video game, right?
Well, this is where it comes back to what we were just talking about, where you said, people have instant reactions. I don't think we're like that. Some people are, and that's where some of that comes from, right? So, yeah, I think what we have to do this off season, and now that we're firmly in it with the World Series being over, I think what we're going to have to do this off season is set your expectations low. If they surpass that, great, but set them low. Sad to say.
I mean, I guess
With signings and things of that nature.
it stands to reason. You expect something, you probably shouldn't be too disappointed by it. That said, I feel as though I feel as though they're close enough to do something, but I just can't imagine it being like 90 million to do that something. I just think it would take something this team's never done before, and I'm not 100% sure that I believe this is the management team or the time and place it is in the history of the game that leads me to believe they're going to do something unprecedented this offseason.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talk track record and timing right now with what's going on in baseball. That's not a real good combination for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right. Well, speaking of, like you said, okay, it's World Series is over. We're officially in the offseason. You're starting to see these transactions fly around. We're going to talk about some of the ones that just popped up today and everything. And then we're going to do everything we said we wouldn't and give you instant reaction to how we feel about them. But yeah, but I mean, what do you think? The World Series, we didn't talk about it really. It ended exciting. Yamamoto was insane what
Yeah.
he did, and incredible. And I actually see some people like almost trying to diminish it. Like I literally had somebody comment on something I wrote about it. It said, "He's Japanese. They're used to that." What are you talking about? They're
Used to
not
what?
used to like throwing in back-to-back games like that. Like I don't believe that's the case all the time. Like that's still a pretty
Well,
special thing.
even if he is used to it, that stopped when he came here
Right.
to the Dodgers. I mean, to the U.S. So even if it is different over there, then you start training differently. That starts to matter.
Right.
But listen, man, it's a great series. If you just want to box baseball into the screen you're watching that day, um, Game 7 was
Which bluntly,
crazy.
that's the choice that I make every playoff.
Well,
I
yes.
that is what I do once they start. If I want to watch them, that's exactly what I do. I
Yeah,
put them
well,
into an
because
individual
otherwise you'd be
box.
miserable.
Yeah, and do I watch as much baseball like once the Pirates are out? No. No. I mean, like I don't feel compelled to like be there right at first pitch all the time. Sometimes I'll
Mm,
jump in somewhere in the sixth.
sure.
Sometimes maybe if the game's boring, I bail out. I mean, that's how I watch the playoffs. How about you?
Yeah, we do the same thing. Obviously, we're busy and we got Ben running around doing stuff. Sometimes we don't get into like the second inning and turn on the game, and we got other things going on. Maybe jump over to if the Pens are on, we're trying to watch that some, and but then when it starts getting down to the nitty gritty, then yeah, I'll get my ninja laser focus going. But it was a fantastic series. It's kind of ironic, Gary, that IKF, the former Pirate, ended up being such a
Yeah.
lightning rod at the end of
Well, what did you think of that? What should he have done differently?
well, at first I was very much on the side of, man, he screwed up. He should have had a better lead. Um, the more I've thought about it, I think there's been an overreaction to that. Some of that's coaching. He's listening to his coaching. Um, but I do think that when you look at the first thing you can't have happen is you can't get picked off and you can't get doubled up. You cannot.
Sure.
Like you cannot.
Sure.
So like that has to be first and foremost. Could he got a better jump off whenever the ball hit off the bat or that secondary lead? Maybe. Could he have ran through home plate? Maybe, but that's a play that's happening so fast in real time that I don't know that you don't know that that's going to be that kind of a play, right? You don't know that that's a run through play at home until like it's like a millisecond.
No, but for damn sure that it's not a blocking play because it's not a tag play. So I
Sure.
mean, to me, like that takes the catcher out of the picture, and I'm treating it like a normal base. The best thing to do is to run through it. And I just I think that needs to be coached. That's not necessarily his fault. It's just I think if he was running instead of trying to slide through home plate,
Mm-hmm.
which always kind of creates issues in and of itself, right? Because your ankle like lifts up in the air when you try to slide down foot first.
Right,
You don't want to slide head first into a catcher,
your foot
right?
pops up when you slide feet first, and
Yup. I mean, to me, if it's a force, run through it.
it's one of those plays too, though, that like I think you've done it one way your whole life, and like it's such a situational play that as much as we focus on situations, I just don't know that like it's so ingrained that you're gonna slide.
Listen
Um,
to us old girls just gabbing on. We gotta get to a break. It's
oh
10,
yeah,
10
dude.
minutes in already.
All
I
right,
got to give
fine.
them the roadmap too. We're going to talk about this Mitch Keller. I think it's one of the biggest questions this offseason, and that's what I named this episode, the biggest questions. We're going to talk about that a little bit, some of these roster moves that were made today, some other questions that got answered with guys they've chosen to waive. Just some interesting things we're going to talk about. That's all. That's all. Well, you got to wait 30 seconds for it. That's the
Just
rule.
wait. Be patient.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hey, welcome back to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. Jim and Gary with you, and we're going to rapid fire conversation through some of these things, man. There was a lot of moves. Some of them I don't think we're going to care too much about. A few of them I think deserve some conversation, right?
Sure.
So they had to make some room on their 40 man. They were a little bit over. And this happened the other day. They had put on waivers G1 Bay, Jack Little, and Liover Piguero. Already we know the outcome of all of those. Liover Piguero is going into minor league free agency. Jack Little has been claimed by Detroit. And G1 Bay has been claimed by the New York Mets. So the Pirates have 38 players, and then they went ahead and stitched one on, which we'll talk about in a moment. What did you think of any of those? G1 Bay, we talked about being done with him, and Liover Piguero, that was our assumption. But now that it's done, how do you feel about each of their paths? Were they given proper opportunity? Were they given bad advice when they got here? What happened to them?
Well, I think first of all, they just weren't good enough. Like, let's keep it with the player somewhat. First of all, no problem with it. I think Bay got plenty of run. Piguero got a little bit of run, and then all of a sudden didn't get any. I think it's telling though that he wasn't even claimed. That surprised me a little. Maybe not surprised me, but like maybe it confirms a little bit that that was time too. But Bay, I think the G1 Bay experience here was we had seen enough of it.
I think so too. I mean, G1 Bay, I think, has an undeniable skill set that's like something you can't teach. But and to be blunt, I've watched him play in AAA, and he's so good. He's so good in AAA. He really, really is. And I've always enjoyed watching him. A little spark plug down there, completely different kind of player. And when he gets called up, he just, for whatever reason, does not want to be what he was. He doesn't think that what he does in AAA is what would make him successful in the majors. And you can just see him trying to do things he doesn't try to do. It's
Yeah, I think
Another organization taking a look at him is good for him. He's got a shot to actually do something in the majors if someone has a little bit more understanding of whatever the disconnect is there with him. Because
yeah,
I've seen him do good things on the field.
he's got some tools that clearly teams will value and covet and hope to get something out of, right? It's like a pitcher that has one devastating pitch but can't do anything else. He's still going to get
Yeah.
a chance somewhere. To me, sometimes it comes down to is that jump between the majors or between AAA and the majors just for some guys, it's too much. And they
Right.
just, and then when they get there, sometimes I think the major leagues, man, teams aren't going to let you do what you want to do. So they kind of force you into some of the things they know you struggle at. And I think you saw that with Bay sometimes.
I think we did too. And this is actually, it's kind of a tangent subject, okay? So this is maybe not one of the big questions, but it is something that I really wanted to talk with you about. How do you take a guy like Ji-Hwan Bae and his speed tells you he should be an elite base stealer. All right. And in the minors, he kind of is. He takes off whenever he wants and successful an awful lot of the time. The problem is guys down there don't have pickoff moves, not good ones. And a lot of them don't have catchers that can capitalize on making a move, and they don't adjust their speed to the plate. And that's like the last stuff to come. Those are the finishing touches for pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you train that? Because we talk a lot about that disconnect from AAA to the majors with this team in particular. But how do other teams approach that? How would you approach that? How do you teach something that they're not going to see?
I think sometimes, Gary, it comes down to like Bay to me is like a specific, unique case in the sense that like I never felt that he was really instinctively good. Like I think he had all the speed you want, but like the instincts weren't there. Like he was good because he was fast. That doesn't mean like you get slower guys and
Right.
they have good base running instincts, right? They have a good feel for the game. I don't think Bay ever had that. Maybe that's the part that you can't really ever teach, or that you can't ever get guys to that light never goes on. So I think he specifically, I don't know if that's answering your question, but I think with him specifically, that was always going to be the hardest part. He just never seemed to have a great sense.
Now, Leover in particular, I just felt like was handled weird. Like he kind of got jumped ahead of Nick Gonzalez and brought up, to fill that weird hole because he was in Altoona or whatever. And Nick Gonzalez, I think, was actually injured at the time. Or maybe he would have gotten that far too early opportunity and been treated the same way, right?
Right.
But then, barely used the next season, maybe gets like a 30-game stretch at some point towards the end of the year. Then the next year, they barely use him. They call him up. They don't use him at all. Send him back down. This year, he gets called up, sits on the bench for like the vast majority of the time that he was here. I think he played about 5 or 6 games. I never understood what they were doing with him. Like, I never understood even the urgency to call him back up. Like, even the last time they called him back up, I didn't see anything different from the other times that they had called him back up or sent him back down. That's either okay with you or it isn't. And either way, give the kid a little runway and see what the hell you got. What was the problem there? I mean, they desperately needed an element that he does very much so have. It's just power. I'm not saying he was ever going to be a superstar, but try it.
Yeah, I'm looking back now just to see, because it's funny with guys like this is it goes back, right? It's not just like a year or two. Like now we're back into 2023 with him, and he got 213 plate appearances. Like it's like they gave him a run at the
And then
beginning,
they
and
held
then
on to him like a
Mhm,
ransom, like
mhm.
a hostage for like what, 2.5 more years?
Right.
I mean, what are we doing? Like, why?
And yeah, the numbers weren't fantastic, but like he didn't embarrass himself either. So yeah, this is a conversation we've had with too many guys, right? Whether they're going to be good or not. And, at the end of the day, I think him not being claimed says a little bit um, overall about how he's perceived, but it seems like a conversation with this regime in particular. This is a little bit of Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, I'm not even arguing necessarily that he would be good. As
Right.
much as,
Right.
doesn't it feel like we could have answered this question quite some time ago? Like
Sure.
like we could have moved on from this a minute ago. Like it's been trending in this direction for some time. We got a question in here. If the Pirates know they can't afford Skeens starting in 2027, does that make them hesitant to trade Keller? Skeens wouldn't even cost what Keller does in 2027. I'm not sure I understand your question.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not. That question's probably better asked with a later year on it than 2027, because it's just not going to be at that point yet with what he can make.
And then
Um,
how do you know with this development staff?
what are we
This
talking, Ryan? If you could, Steel City Ryan, if you could just elaborate a little bit, because I don't know what that was for. So
elaborate on what you mean by development staff too, because it's literally changes every year. I don't. I honest to God don't know where you're even shooting.
yeah, I mean,
Because we've had a lot of kids kind of flying through the system recently, so I think they've done some pretty good things, and the pitching
yeah,
staff is mostly developed up through the system too.
I
So
mean, hopefully he's still with us. He can clarify and we can get
yeah,
back to it. Sure,
that's what I'm hoping for.
sure.
So let's see. I guess point is we don't really care about Jack Little at all, and Leo Piguero, I think we both embraced that he wasn't going to make it. I just a little frustrated that we even bothered with it this year, you know. And G1 Bay, hey, good luck. I mean, like I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and
I feel like something could happen with him if he landed in the right place and took in the right lessons.
I guess the other thing we should mention is Piguero was part of the Marte trade, right?
Yeah,
Um, so it kind of puts a bow tie on that.
yeah.
Um,
Arizona
so
got crap out of that too.
so
Even when they
yeah,
repackaged him and resold him, there's Pixie's dust turned into crap too. So
wasn't
I
he
mean,
wasn't Piguero's time really young and just thought of as like a high ceiling guy too? Like,
yeah, Brennan Malone
yeah,
was thought of as the big get in that though. He was the top
yep.
rated pitcher. He just has not stayed healthy at all.
Well, this is baseball in general. What, like, 90% of
Oh,
these.
okay. So he's saying when does Skeen's arb start? He's thinking 2027. You don't understand how arbitration works then. If you think that that's what it would be in 2027, it wouldn't be unless they really, really did change the rules and we got a brand new CBA. It would not be that much that quick. That's the quickest answer I can give you, and I don't want to turn this into an arbitration show.
Whatever the
But
max is, he'll get it, but it's not gonna. It can't be that high.
it won't be that high.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll start him even as good as he is. First year of arbitration, 10, 12, top. That's kind of where you get your first year. There's never been a pitcher this good in the arbitration era, though.
Now,
So
the
who knows?
question would be is in the arbitration process, can you play really nice with somebody and really make sure you you know,
Like for
you
instance,
want you want to piss Paul off?
they technically owe him major league minimum this year. But though I'm sure he's got some bonus structure as well for winning things like Cy Young and whatnot. So I'm sure he's getting that as well. But a smart team, and if you're a fan that's been around for a minute, you'll remember Garrett Cole got upset about this. Garrett Cole wanted to be paid a little bit better than a general rookie gets paid, and rightly so. And most pitchers like that tend to get that. Team will bend pretty easy, and we're not talking a lot. We're talking like, yeah, we get each other. We'll give you like 1.25. You know, that's
Right.
almost doubling your salary. You get it. Plus, Skeens ain't crying for money. I mean, he just got his bonus 2 years ago. It's not like he's blown
Yeah,
it on
no,
the way through the system and everything.
no. With
But they
him and
have to do it out of
endorsements and
respect, and that's what'll happen first. And then you'll see like then you'll see it turn into the arbitration process. And the first year will be like 10 point something or whatever. Greg brings up that national reporters are putting together packages. Yeah, they've been doing it since we drafted him. Have you
almost
not? Have you just landed from Mars?
almost
That's
with
all they want.
they do it with the almost like schoolgirl giddiness too. That's what makes me so irritated.
It's hilarious and transparent as hell. And it's like, but it's, I mean, Jim, for real, it's no different than like even our stupid political divides. You either want to like actually learn about a subject and make an informed decision, or you don't. And if you don't, chances are you ingest cable news and or what was it Greg said? National reporters putting together packages for Paul Skeens, which is the same as cable news to me. Because that's all they're doing is creating content. Like, I mean, that stuff's trash. You know the Pirates aren't going to do that yet. You do. And like the people even in town, if there's somebody in town that specifically told you, I think it was B
Greg.
Nuz or whatever, that he was going to be too expensive in 2027, that person is a charlatan and a liar and baiting you. Don't listen to them anymore.
Well, I mean, where they don't understand the process. I
Nah,
mean, so.
nah. They're intentionally misleading you.
But hey, let's get back to the comment section because Steel City Ryan followed up like we asked him to.
All right. Here, you read it.
Okay, so we asked Steel City Ryan to clarify a little bit on how do we know about the development
Or is
side.
this the one you're talking about?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
He said we asked him to kind of clarify what he was going for. So thank you, sir. He said pitching is fine, but as far as the hitters, I felt like they got handcuffed by a horrible hitting philosophy, and the whole mental focus on development was flawed.
Yeah, well,
I think that's fair.
I think it is too, and all I can really tell you is they literally just fired that dude, the guy who was in charge of it. Baker's gone.
And I think too, like Ryan, just to clarify, like kind of how I view it is to me, I always put more focus on like the player. Like I can't blame. At the end of the day, it's the player's career. It's their talent level. It's their ability to make adjustments. Yes, they could be getting good or bad advice. You can help make things better or worse as a hitting coach or a philosophy through a system. But at the end of the day, you know, I always tend to side with that the player at the end of the day probably just didn't get it done or wasn't good enough. And that's not across the board. I do think there are cases where guys tend to get bad advice or go down a rabbit hole, but that's just my overriding philosophy with it.
Like the Pirates had a really bad string of draft picks, and I'm sure their development system sucked. You know, back with Dave Littlefield, right? both can be true. I'm not trying to tell you that the development system is good right now.
Hmm.
I guess what I'm tired of hearing is with this development system, you don't know about it. You don't know hardly anybody in it. You can't name a single person that you think is to blame. You don't know anything about the development system. It's a living organism. And I want people to understand that it changes every single year and it fluctuates and they move and things change. It's really hard to pin down what exactly is to blame in the system. That's why you have to look up. That's why you have to blame Ben Charrington for that stuff. But it doesn't mean they're not like addressing and trying to make changes to the development system as they go. And I think we have seen some positive signs in the last couple of years that some of the changes they made are starting to take hold. The hitting is coming along in the lower levels, and that is a direct reflection of the changes they made. Biggest, scariest thing for me is if a lot of that was Horowitz, who's now gone. Did they actually take in what he was teaching and now they have a new shepherd to make sure that it continues to be implemented in that way? Or is Ben sitting there like looking at his brand new remade Camaro that someone else did all the wrenching on going, yeah, I rebuilt that.
And that's stuff we don't know, you know?
Right.
This is always the age-old question. Is it the development or do you need better players? Do you need to draft better? I mean, the answer is probably somewhere in between on all of this.
Yeah.
I would submit first and foremost they just hadn't drafted good enough. They just hadn't hit on enough picks. Now, did they ever develop anybody that came through? No. So you can be critical of that as well, for sure.
Right. So we need to talk about Mitch Keller. I think that's the huge question this offseason. And we've talked about the potential of trading him before. We've talked about it even back at the trade deadline last year. There's a reason. First, it feeds into the Pirates' worst impulses as a team to shed money, right? So it makes so much sense because it's like putting a hunk of cheese in front of a rat and wondering if he might be interested. You know, like, yeah, there's one factor that gets you thinking about it. Factor number two is for as much as you're paying him, many fans and I would say a lot of people probably undervalue the number of innings that he throws because his ERA finishes above 4. I think he is seen as less valuable because of that, and I wonder how prevalent that is league wide. So I question the value on the market. We got to talk about it though, because I don't know how you move in this off season until you make that decision. And I figured Graves put up a cool poll. Graves, founding member here at Pirates Fan Forum, she put up a cool poll about this.
She did.
Just said, what would you do regarding Mitch Keller? No trade, trade and sign free agents, trade for proven talent, trade and extend Griffin. It's a very even split. No trade got a full third, man. I guess you can't have a third of 4. It got 33.3% of the 100%.
Math's not my strong suit, Gary. So I'll let you handle that one.
Trade and signed free agents only got 16.1, which makes a lot of sense because I don't think they would get very deep into that free agent pool with that amount of money. Trade for proven talent, 28%, aka the dream. Trade and extend Griffin, 22.6%. I loved it. It's about 100 votes, man. So this isn't like a tiny sample.
No.
What do you think? I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have to hit in one of those 4, but that was just an interesting poll to kind of talk about.
And it was,
in general,
it was pretty split.
In general, where's your head right now?
I guess the first thing I want to say is like I see people bristle about even bringing up the topic, and they're always saying like, well, this is stupid and they should just spend more money. It's stupid that's stupid to even bring it up. Yeah, in a perfect world, you're right.
You're right, and there shouldn't be
You're
homeless veterans,
yeah,
and no
yeah,
child should go hungry, and
yes. And if you want to
there
stay
should be
in
no
that,
wars, and
if you want to stay in that altruistic, um, spot with the pirates, go ahead. I'm looking for solutions or
right.
some type of avenues that you could work around it, knowing what we know. So let's get that out of the way first. If you want to stay there in your rightness, fine. Um, I don't think you're gonna, like you said, the free agent part, trade and then sign free agents. You're not gonna have the cash to do it, and then do the people you ask want to sign here if they have other options. So I think it would be great if you could find a partner through a trade and get talent back, but I think that's the longest shot of them all, truthfully.
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
If you traded Mitch Keller, let's forget about what you got back for him for a moment.
Okay.
But let's assume it wouldn't be a pitcher. Let's assume it
All
wouldn't be
right.
a veteran starter that you planned on using immediately, because that would be pretty stupid. Would you be okay not getting another one in free agency? Like, if you trade Mitch Keller, would you have to turn around and get one on free agency? And how much of what you save from Mitch Keller would you have to spend in order for you to feel as comfortable as you did with Mitch Keller?
Well, can you make the late free agent signing for someone for we've seen that go both ways where it's worked and it hasn't. My God, why can't I remember last year? Who's the lefty we signed? Andrew Heaney.
Yeah.
Didn't work, but it worked with some other guys. So, but yeah, if you need to spend that money as part of the money you just got back, and then you're still going to be trying to find somebody, boy, do they have the pitching to get by without it? If they traded Keller, I don't know, man. There's a lot of young arms. I don't know how we're going to cover those innings. So
I mean,
there's
it's
a lot
about
of
covering the innings. It's also about the expectation that the transition from AAA to the majors for these guys is going to be different than it has been for everyone else that's ever done it. It's so hard to believe. And as much as I believe in Bubba Chandler, I just find it really, really hard to believe that in all of the years the Pittsburgh Pirates have been playing baseball, they get Paul Skeens and Bubba Chandler, the second unblemished superstar, ready-made, popped out of the womb, ready to jump on the mound and do godlike things, pitcher in a matter of 3 years. I find that very difficult to believe that there's not some bumps and some hiccups and some stumbling blocks along the way for guys even like Bubba. And they don't have to be big ones that he gets curb stomped on, but it's impossible to expect we've got another Skeens, Jim. I mean, I just
yeah.
refuse to believe a second miracle.
Well, I think that's the thing here is Keller gives you that nice little safety net in the rotation. He's a veteran. He's not. He's still, of age to give you quality starts, and he's not on the downside. And he's gonna eat a lot of innings and pitch well enough to be, considered valuable. He's really a nice safety net in a young rotation, and that'd be tough to move. I would still do it, Gary, I think, if the return was right, but I can see why it gives people pause. I certainly can.
I mean, I think I would have to get a bona fide answer back. I'd have to get something back that I feel like I can use immediately and it fills a need. Like that's got to be the prerequisite. That's a really hard needle to thread.
Right.
I mean, the needs and want ratio is off there, and I saw a lot of people like Yark was on social media proposing like a three-way trade with, and I was like, bro, I mean, like we're asking this dude that we've been calling dumb for like 3-4 years to play like 4D chess now. Like I don't think so. I just do not think so.
Well, full disclaimer, I think he's our buddy PNC Yark, by the way. He's been on the show, just to give you guys a full history here. But
Yeah.
I think Yark, he loves these scenarios, so he loves to just get into it regardless. But yes, are we going to involve 2, 3, 4 teams to get something to happen? I don't know, man.
They're fun to think about. It's fun to think about, but yeah.
I'm thinking maybe we get Andrew McCutcheon's name spelled right at Pirates Fest before we start thinking about 14 deals and stuff.
I totally agree, man. Let's take a quick break and come back and wrap up the Keller talk here. I think we both need to come down pretty firmly on a couple other things with him.
Sounds good.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hey, welcome back to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. So, Jim, another angle on this that I was thinking about was the reason I think it's so important to answer the Keller question is because let's say they do plan on clearing out some of his salary to reallocate via a trade, right? And they have an idea of how much he's going to cost, right? But we learned already from watching them that they're not going to spend theoretical money. So they'll have to get this trade made before they can execute whatever it is that they thought they were going to do with that money. And my guess is that they burn up all their gas letting the getaway car rev out in the parking lot waiting for the bank robbery to finish. You know what I mean? And then do they go forward with the trade anyway, even though it might be stupid at that point? I mean, or do they just back off?
Yes.
I'm saying, like, the reason I think this is such a critical question is because I think the entire offseason could be defined by it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the big
good
piece.
Or bad, keep or move. And I think it all is combined. I think it could paralyze them into inaction.
I think it already did a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think obviously there was some serious consideration to maybe doing it at the trade deadline. So my take with Keller is like it. I guess how I would kind of put a bow on it would just be like, it's the safe thing. It's the safe thing to keep him. If that's where you fall and you just would prefer the safety of it, I get that. But they're always safe, overly safe. Are we just paralyzed with fear that they're going to make some stupid decision? That's fair too.
What you just said is very poignant. it is safer to keep him. They always do what's safe. But we have, and many have, for about a year now, just absolutely assumed he would get traded. Because the third part of that equation that we didn't mention, and we have to figure it out because somehow it's an E equals MC squared thing. The other part of that equation is they're also always cheap. And they're paying him a lot of money at some point. So I think that's why we've always kind of just assumed at some point we'll trade him, right? You know, but
Well, every
maybe
time
you're right, though. It is less risky to keep him. That plays into it. Maybe we are overselling the likelihood that they'll make that move. It might piss Paul Skeens off, quite honestly. I think he likes having Mitch Keller around. And I don't know if that matters or not.
Well, I think to a player is probably always going to look at it as like, wait a second, you need to add. You're not going to subtract. You're not going to subtract and then add.
But
like
let's
a player,
put a caveat on it. Let's put a caveat on it. If they trade Mitch Keller directly for two-time Gold Glove winner Weiler Abreu, that's a decent shot at a bat that you've got control of for 4 years. Gold Glove outfielder. I don't even know if they'd do that. Don't worry about it. Or say they directly trade him for like Tyler Soderstrom of the A's. You know, good outfielder, 4 or 5 years like that.
You're just bringing up general examples of something.
General examples, but they're solid trades. You can make a real easy case. I needed offense really bad to support you better, big guy. Had to do this to get it. I think you understand better as a player, right? You get it. You understand that give and take. They all saw the deficiencies. But if you take him away and you get prospects and then you go and sign 2 Tommy Phams and a handful of Lastings Millages, I think you probably have some problems in that room.
Man, Lasting Millage just catching a stray out of nowhere. Jeez, Gary.
Coach, now we had him on the show a while back. I was talking to him.
Good guy, by the way.
I was just talking to him the other day because he's
Well, yeah, but well, certainly that plays a part in it too. Is like, you can't be taken away from things that we are that he want, like Skeens in particular is thinking like, we just need to be better, and if you can communicate to him that whoever you got made them better right now, but then you have to suggest that they can communicate that. So I think there's a lot of steps in the process that the Pirates usually come up a tiny bit short on, Gary, just a tiny bit.
You ever watch like those dumb like A&E documentaries like 48 Hours, you know, or the Forensic Files that are on sometimes? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You sit there and watch them, and the whole time you're sitting there like, oh, I know he did it, you know, and then like they get this little piece of information and it changes the whole thing. I'm sitting here trying to add up all the Pirates' evidence this offseason for what needs to happen. And it ain't adding up, Jim. I'm hearing a lot of people suggesting things that might happen, and like trading Keller and Travis Williams, they're going to make the playoffs for sure. And then Jason Mackey saying they're only going to spend $90 million next year. Somebody's wrong. Somebody's being lied to. Something's not true.
Gary, are you trying to say the Pirates are going to murder your offseason?
I'm trying to say is that if I'm trying to add up everything I know and all the bits and pieces and the pushes and pulls that I think I'm aware of, it doesn't add up. It doesn't look like a plan, and I don't understand it.
It's Travis Williams with the pretzel maker in the library.
I freaking love it. We're playing Pirates Clue here on the Pirates Fan Forum. I love it. Well, but Travis Williams may very well be, and probably is going to be the stinky ingredient. I mean, he's going to be the rotten egg when you finally clean out the refrigerator. That's going to be the source of the odor, saying that this team was
Oh,
full stop going to go to the playoffs
I
is
wonder if they'll
going
have.
to be the one thing that can't be fulfilled from all these prophecies and all this information.
They're gonna have him muzzled at Pirates Fest. That's all. It's. I mean, like they're gonna wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter on the dolly, just so he can't say anything.
I can't imagine somebody's not going to,
Oh,
immediately say,
Hey, Travis. Remember what you said back? Remember what you said back then?
but Jim,
How's it going?
I'm trying to think of like what this team, even in my wildest, wettest dreams, could do to have me come to spring training in 2026 and go, hot damn, we're going to the playoffs. Full stop. I 100% believe this. I there's hope. I get hope. You can say hope. You can say you hope it will because you think you're going to get improvements and everything. So I can paint an optimistic picture too. I can Bob Ross the shit out of it for you if you want. I'll put happy little hitters everywhere. But the problem is, bro, like that's not going to actually put that team on. I don't even know how you could go about it.
Well, that's just it. Like, how are they going to even pull this off in just one off season?
If you got me, Nick, what's realistic? Like, I don't know. Let's say Jason Mackey's full of shit instead of Travis Williams, and it's going to be 100 million. It's 10 more, yay! Right? I mean, okay. What do I get? Eugenio Suarez. That's the consensus third baseman choice. That's the fix, right? And then what? We're keeping Keller because if money's not a concern, I'm not moving the asset. And then I got to get a left fielder. Got to get a starting left fielder, a good one. Where do I go for that? Like it's free agent.
That's or you trade somebody else pitching wise that isn't such a pivotal piece right now.
What would be a good get? It's not going to be Kyle Tucker. Do you get what I mean? Like, but you're talking about like you might be able to pry away like a Ian Happ on his last year of his deal. Or and I don't want to deal with the Cubs. You might be able to get like Nick Castellanos needs a new home, needs to get out. Alec Boehm. I mean, those types of guys. Maybe you go out and take a big swing on Gleyber Torres, get a big improvement at second base. I mean, for real, you want to do something. That's how you get a team that looks like a playoff. That costs more than they're going to give them.
Right.
I don't know how it came out of his friggin' mouth, Jim. I just don't.
No, but I can't wait for it to be followed up on. And when is the Pirate Fest? January?
Yeah, you were going this year, right? We're going together.
I would hope so.
All right.
Yeah.
We got to be down there.
We already checked our hockey schedule, and we don't have a out of town tournament that week. So, yeah, it's a one day Pirates Fest this year. By the way, if anybody's,
I'm glad it's one day. I mean, honestly, I'm really glad it's one day. I wish it would have been back at PNC Park, but whatever. I'll take it at the convention center. So be it.
It's better than them not having it, which they tried that too. So
it looks like they're going to open up an autograph session for kids only that you don't have to sign up for, which is cool. That's nice. I'm glad they're doing something like that.
I did not know that. That is good.
Q&A they plan on and everything, but
back to your point is like, yeah, I don't know that there's a lot of magical potions that are going to fix this in this short of amount of time. And That's probably why I started off with saying keep the expectations low, and
Yeah.
if they go over that, then great. But yeah, they've got some decisions to make, at least with personnel. Forget payroll, and then go from there.
I will say the Miami Marlins are probably a good example of what you can do, though, if you just kind of trust your system and just believe the kids are going to fill your gaps. 71 games last year they won. And Jim, that team wasn't supposed to be. They were supposed to be the worst team in baseball. You know what I mean? And they trusted a bunch of kids last year. I'm not saying like they're going to bring them to fruition. They end up trading them early and whatnot, but that's what I think this team needs to do, truthfully. Lean into this Esmeralda Valdez thing and Connor Griffin and Termar Johnson. Let it happen.
Yeah.
Just go about your business of getting these kids up here. Surround Paul Skeens with talent instead of names.
I think too, and just to clarify too, you said the Marlins went 79 and 83, so even better than what you had suggested. So they were very competitive, actually. Finished better than the Braves, obviously the Nationals, but they didn't end up too far behind the Mets.
But I'm saying like that's a very young roster,
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's not the model that I want for the game. I don't want teams to have to sell off and play all kids and they certainly didn't have to. They could have signed some free agents too and everything and probably done even a little better. But I'm saying like nobody in their right mind would have expected them to play better because they didn't know any of those players. That's kind of the situation that you have here with a lot of these young guys. Nobody's going to expect things to happen for a lot of these people. You got to let it happen. You got to believe it can happen if you're following a team that's doing it this way. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this before coming on air. I would say, like, if you can't get it done at all on the hitting side, which, hey, that could happen as far as in the off season, not finding anything. If you can strengthen the bullpen, do it. Spend it. There'll be places to spend it that actually would help you, even if it's on the pitching side. We've had enough issues in the bullpen the last couple of years. You can't go and solidify that. So I think they can do some things. They were 20 games under 500 last year. Development's nice. Trusting is nice. But find ways to get better, even if you're limited in doing so with the finances.
Like you may not be able to fill all the holes from outside, or you won't. But it doesn't mean that you won't fill something. I mean, I really think like the team doesn't necessarily have to take a step back this year. But I think a Keller trade that doesn't have instant impact for this major league team offensively could set them back.
Well, and that's what you were talking about with the sell. That's a tough sell for Paul Skeens.
Yeah, that's one of the few things I think that's one of the few things I think that they could do that would actually tangibly set them back. If they traded him and they got like an impact bat back, that I think it would be more absorbable and you'd understand the vision a little bit better. But that can't be a bat that's like there for a year. You're trading 3 years of some dude. You know what I mean? Like if it is, it's got to be a trade and sign guy. And here I am asking him to be creative again.
Be creative in things that they never dabble in the first place.
Right.
So
this was a good show, Jim, man. I loved it.
It really was.
Participation in the chat was awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much. And especially like when we were pushing back on you with with questions and everything. I just appreciate the way with which you guys handle that stuff now. Like, I think some of you that have been around for a long time following this show are starting to understand the flavor of what we're trying to do. We want to have conversations. We want to go back and forth with you. And sometimes I just need a little more explanation than 2 lines can give. So I really appreciate the extra thought, for real.
Absolutely. It's a pretty good group in here. Every once in a while we get a turd that we got to flush, but that hasn't happened in a little while either. So yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been real good. Let's toss it off to Ben. Let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks!
Yeah, buddy.